Okay, welcome back. So, as promised, here's the real story. The real story, because this teacher was a really compassionate, lovely, thoughtful teacher who had some great strategies up her sleeve. Not just that she was a great human, it's that she had some really specific strategies. She knew Brodie, the backup dancer, loved just to be moving and grooving, and that was his vibe, right? And if he missed out on something, he would ask for it. But being only little, the way he asks for things looks and feels like shouting, "Hey, I didn't get my turn," right? So she responded by saying, "Okay, Brodie." She walked over to him for a start and engaged him in a lovely conversation. So she said, "Okay, these guys have all kind of moved on. They're busy doing their thing at tables. So do you want to share your turn with me?" And he was like, "Yes, I do." Now, instead of choosing one welcome to my brain card and sharing how he was feeling using that card as the stimulus, and that's what the other kids had been doing. One card, one idea, simple. Little kids, really nice and simple. He grabbed the whole set of cards off the teacher. The teacher said, "Okay, hold on." And he was like, "Right, hold on, hold on, hold on." And he cleared a space in the middle of where everyone was working. So slightly physically awkward, but okay, cleared this space. Hold on, hold on, hold on. And he scuffled through the cards and he laid them out and he changed them and he scuffled through. And it took quite a few minutes for him to kind of go, "Right, here's my turn." Took quite a few minutes. This is what he did. He used all of these cards. I don't know how many he's got laid out, but he didn't choose one. He didn't choose two. He chose all of these cards. And he said, "So I want to tell you this morning about what happens in my brain to an idea, because that's the thing I'm thinking about at the moment, an idea. And this is what happens in my brain." And he proceeded to tell us, his teacher and me, I was a visitor in the room, what happens in his brain, what the process is of him getting an idea. And I'm just going to talk you through a few of the things that he said, because it was a long explanation, as you can probably guess by all of these cards. But it started at this ball and chain chap here. He said when he's looking for an idea or trying to grab an idea, it's really hard work, really hard. And just your brain is just tired and it hurts, but you've got to slog through that hard stuff. And then what seems to happen, all of a sudden you can just see the bits of the idea come together. And this story carries on, and there's a little story attached to each of these cards. It goes along this bottom row, and then it comes back up to the motorway or the cars card, because this is when all of the pieces slot into place, right? And then it comes along and along and along. And he said at this one, and it gets to the point where it just feels like climbing a mountain. It's so hard, right? It's going through all this long process and it all comes together. And then he comes up to here. And this is his card that represents the idea has come together, all of the pieces. And look, that's me. And I'm in control of all of the pieces that I have brought together for this idea. Cool. And then he says, and this is how my brain finally feels, right? So he had incredible depth, incredible ideas, an incredibly complex process that he was busy thinking through while he was at the back dancing, 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 probably listening to other kids as well, but who can tell? But he had this complexity, this depth, this articulation, this amazingness sitting in his head while he's dancing, dancing, dancing. But given the time and the space and the patience and the flexibility to actually get those ideas out in a way that made sense to him was what he needed. Without that time and that space and that patience and that teacher who just responded to his needs with a bit of curiosity and a bit of flexibility, none of us would have heard this amazingness from him. This, I think, is a great example of what we can learn from kids and about kids when we give them the space and the time to tell us, right? So enjoy this little story. I hope you have found it just that little bit instructive into different ways to respond to kids and maybe how we support teachers. We share with them that curiosity, that flexibility, that little tiny tweak of what they do in a classroom, the difference it can make. Thank you so much. Have fun with the rest of your day. Bye-bye.